then we begin to put barriers between us and other people. So in Hebrews chapter 10, from verse 32 to 34, the believers went through both verbal and physical assault at the hands of their opponents. They were imprisoned without due diligence being followed. And when you read the book of Hebrews chapter 11 from verse 24 to 26, we understand the reason why they had sometimes the new lifestyle, as the lesson says, and moral values may make them feel guilty in their hearts. So they may run away, they may move away from you because of that. So many Christians suffered because of their faith in Jesus Christ. And even as Timothy chapter 3 verse 12 says, and all who desire to live godly in Jesus will be persecuted. So when we see persecution, when we hear of persecution, it should not be something strange to us. The Bible tells us the reason why those who walk committed to Jesus Christ suffer persecution. Let's allow a comment or two. You can ponder upon this question. Do we see such persecution today because of faith in Jesus Christ? And if we are not seeing such persecution today, is the Bible telling a lie? I open up for a comment or two from the congregation. Any comment from the congregation? We're talking about the struggles that people of God go through, the difficult moments in their lives because of the commitment to Jesus Christ. Do we see such challenges today, or things just move smoothly? And if such persecutions are there, how can we overcome them? And if such persecutions are not there, such conflicts, such struggles, could it mean that the Bible is telling a lie, or a time is yet to come when the church will go through such moments? Any reaction from the congregation? Anybody with a thought? The lesson talks about malaise. Malaise is, I think it should be, it's being tired, being weary, malaise. I think it's a general word. The readers of the book of Hebrews, the letter of Hebrews as written to them, kept their faith and commitment to Christ. They were rejected. They went through persecutions, but they soldiered on because they knew that we are serving a Redeemer. We are serving a living God. We are serving one who came down to die on the cross because of our sins. So they soldiered on in spite of the difficult circumstances. Now, as they fought, they won. They had victory in many encounters. But then they ended up weary. They ended up tired. At the same time, they had so many challenges as a church and as a people. So when you read Hebrews 2:18, Hebrews 3:12, 13, Hebrews 4:15, Hebrews 10:25, there's quite a number of verses. We find that the readers of the book of Hebrews continue to experience difficulties, despite the fact that they are committed to the cause of the gospel. They prayed daily. They were connected to the vine, but they were insulted and assaulted at the same time. Some remained in prison, yet they were innocent. So when you read Hebrews chapter 12, verse 12 and 13, it says that they were clearly tired. Actually, that is our focus on this segment. I can read those verses for a better understanding. In Hebrews chapter 12, verse 12 and 13 says, "Therefore, strengthen the hands which hang down and the feeble knees." 13, "and make straight paths for your feet, so that what is lame may not be dislocated, but rather be healed." We can see the condition in which they found themselves. They were tired. In the same chapter, verse 3 says, "For consider him who endured such hostility from sinners against himself, lest you become weary and discouraged in your souls." They felt weary, and they could easily lose heart. When the going gets tough, it is very easy to lose heart, especially when you have a disconnection from the vine, from the true vine. It's very easy to lose focus when you are pushed so much. And this is what was going to happen to the Hebrews. They were going to lose heart. So initially, when they faced their opponents, they had that zeal in them, the vigor. And that's why they had victory in all their encounters. But over time, when things are so smooth, we become complacent. And then that vigor, that zeal goes down. And that is the time when you become vulnerable without even knowing. So when the enemy comes, he attacks. He finds you unawares. This is what happened to these people. And we are being given a nice illustration in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 19, from verse 1 to verse 4, where King Ahab told his wife Jezebel that what Elijah had done. You remember what Elijah did in the book of 1 Kings. He even killed the prophets. So Jezebel sent a strong message to Elijah that should kill him the following day, the way he killed the prophets. So fear took hold of Elijah's heart. So the Bible says that he ran away. He traveled for a day into the desert and he sat under a tree. And then, to make the long story short, God appeared to him. Actually, Elijah was asking God that all that I've gone through, why don't you just take my life? I would rather die. Here was a man who was committed to serve God, and he did so with a lot of zeal. And if you have read the story of Elijah, God made him stand severest trials of faith. But here we see him